all set with the live streaming? Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
United States
to
of
the republic
America,
and to the
and the
republic,
republic for
one
which
nation,
it stands,
one nation,
one nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty and justice
liberty
for all.
and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Can we have roll call, Kelly, please?
Yes, Jeannie,
Here.
Menuda, O'Donnell,
here,
Sassy,
Here.
Sierra, Stiganga,
Here.
Tortel,
Here.
Riskevich.
Here.
Okay, 6 present, 2 absent.
Okay, thank you. First up, we have Barry Cheney, legislator, a resolution, the Orange County Legislature creating the Dutchess Quarry Sites National Register District Management Committee. Could I get a motion in a second?
I'll
So
move it.
move, Tortel.
Okay, I have O'Donnell and Tortel. Go ahead, Mr. Cheney.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. This should be pretty fresh in everybody's minds, but I'll just go over it quickly. We had a resolution that was passed at last Thursday's meeting, and it included references to a number of things related to the 2012 Management Conservation Report. And it also included putting $100,000 into the Parks Department Capital Project Program to begin the work of the restoration and protection of the caves. So basically what this does is it establishes a committee that would be reporting to the legislature through the Physical Services Committee, and that committee would be responsible for using that 2012 report as a guide to take care of stabilization, protection, and security plan for the property and a public interaction and education plan. Also to pursue opportunities for public and private funding, and then provide oversight for the implementation of the plans and subsequent improvements and activities at the district property. As far as the composition of the committee, there would be 10 members, 3 members of the legislature appointed by the chairman, with at least 1 being a minority party representative, county executives designee from within county government, the Orange County Commissioner of Parks, Recreation, and Conservation, Orange County historian, 2 representatives of the, and I'll give you the correct name as it should have been. This was my error. It's the Incorporated Orange County chapter of the New York State Archaeological Association, nominated by the organization and confirmed by the Orange County Legislature, and 2 at-large residents of Orange County who would be appointed by the chairman of the legislature. And the committee, the chair of that committee would be appointed by the chairman of the legislature. And everybody'd have 2-year terms, with the exception that the legislative appointees who are legislators would only have a 1-year term to the conclusion of the expiration of their term of office. So, and it would, as I think I said previously, it would report to Physical Services. So that's basically how I framed it. Open to comments and suggestions, certainly.
Okay, we have any questions or comments from committee members? I see Mr. O'Donnell has his hand up. Go ahead.
thanks, Chairman. So the only comment I have, you have 10 members, so I'm assuming that Chairman Brescia will be able to break ties on any votes.
Well, I think the committee is pretty much advisory to the Physical Services Committee. So I don't know that they necessarily, if they brought something forth and half of them liked it and half of them didn't, I would think that would be mentioned to the Physical Services Committee.
I'm just mentioning it for,
Yep.
normally committees are odd numbers, or somebody's gotta be a tiebreaker. All right, so maybe you wanna have the chairman as a tiebreaker in case something does come up. All right.
Okay,
That's all
other
right.
questions or
Thanks.
comments from committee members? All right. Yep, thank you. Other questions or comments? Okay, any questions or comments from non-committee members? All right, well, hearing none, I will call the question. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Next up, we have Bill Fioravanti, Director of Economic Development, for his monthly update. Bill?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Thanks. Hello, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity, as always, to report to you. You have my report, which has a number of items in there, a number of different subjects. So I'm just going to, as I tend to do, just hit a couple of highlights. And if you have questions or want information about anything I mentioned or did, of course, please ask. But I'm here to answer any questions you have. Just, I guess, what's been consuming my time the most over the last several months are our two RFPs that are out there for Camp LaGuardia and for the Grand Street buildings. Obviously, you know what's going on full well, but I'll I haven't had a chance to communicate with you about it, so I will. First of all, speaking about Grand Street, obviously, the legislature unanimously authorized county executives team to negotiate with Foster Supply Hospitality. You may have seen it on the cover of the Record this morning. Of course, the Record got it wrong. They said it's sold. It's not sold yet. Just so you know, we're well aware that that's the case, and I've been clarifying that for individuals and groups all weekend and today. But we are determined to come to terms with Sims Foster and to do so on the best terms possible, including trying to negotiate a higher sale price. We know how that important it is to the county, to the legislature. So that's one of our goals, no question about it. So we'll begin those now that official authorization was given Thursday evening. We'll be ready to kick that off. Certainly hoping to come back with a strong contract that you could ratify and we can get that project started. Camp LaGuardia, of course, being the other RFP. You did in the last report that I shared before this one, I included a copy of a summary that this office put together, just like we did for the Grand Street RFP, just summarizing the proposal that we received, a little bit about the group itself, what their plans are. We only got one bid for that, of course, and their initial offer is 1.2 million, I believe. I haven't looked at it recently, but it's 1.2, 1.25, similar to obviously what we saw for Grand Street. But we have the county has a lot more invested in Camp LaGuardia, close to $10 million. So that disparity is even greater in this case. I have, however, in good faith, been communicating with this group that bid, La Rovere and Urban Green Farms, team with a combination of those two groups. Yeah, I've had a number of Zooms kind of vetting them, finding out more information that wasn't in the proposal, and trying to encourage them both with sale price and some other potential concerns out there to kind of beef up their proposal. I've also helped make some connections for them. They wanted to meet some local legislators whose districts were impacted by this, and connected them with tourism. Of course, I see Amanda here. Obviously, it's critical, that relationship, critical to their plans, since tourism and agritourism is such an important component. So we're obviously all trying to get through the Grand Street RFP, and then Camp LaGuardia would come next. Again, this is a proposal that it's pretty interesting. It's got a lot of different facets to it. But again, it does fall short of coming close to what the original investment was. So we'll see. It's up to you what happens next. But I will mention that we have been continuing to field calls from developers and others, individuals in some cases, that are interested in the Camp LaGuardia property. Obviously, they missed the RFP, the dates, but we continue to show the property. We've done a number. I know I've done probably 5 site tours myself over the last couple of months. Just really, in my job, trying to keep everyone on the hook in case something, it doesn't work out with La Rovere, Urban Green. We want to have other suitors there once we get, word from the direction you want to take and the county exec. And perhaps we reissue something, or we do have the opportunity to, if we identify a party that we want to work with, we could work with them on our own. So again, we've still trying to prepare the proposal we received, position it so that you and the county executive can dictate where we go. And we do have other strong interests. So we've been fielding a lot of that. So I think if this were not to happen with La Rovere, we have a lot of strong interest, especially as things to become a little bit more clear with COVID. So that's the update in the RFPs. I'm going to shift to FTZ. We do this month's report. I included a copy of an application that we submitted on behalf of JJS Transportation and Distribution. That's a distributor out of Nassau County, Long Island, same place where we already have another FTZ client out of our area, Expeditors. JJS, they import a number of different items in different industry sectors, the air industry, ocean industry, toys, fashion manufacturing. So they do a lot of importing and distribution. They would be a sub-zone for us, which is any company that looks to be an FTZ client that is outside of our home service territory in Orange County, as well as outside of Rockland and Dutchess, because together they become our home territory. Anyone outside of that would be a sub-zone. Expeditors, again, being a current example of that. Par Pharmaceutical, is another one. So JJS, they applied as for a sub-zone designation. That takes about 60 days typically to be approved. And then we hope to bring them on. We have to finalize a contract, an FTZ operators agreement with them, and then we would bring them on. And of course, they would bring that would result in another $10,000 a year in FTZ fees that we would be gaining, and that's something we're certainly interested in this climate. Primarily, I've told you, we want to use the FTZ to bring companies to Orange County, manufacturers especially, create jobs. But when those opportunities aren't there, and we're working on a number of them, to bring in some FTZ clients, we have really almost unlimited capacity to have other clients even outside the area, so they can help bring in some revenue to kind of subsidize what we're doing in that regard. So JJS is happening. I look forward to coming back and tell you that's approved and that they've become part of FTZ number 37. And beyond that, we're continuing to promote the FTZ. I've said that in January we had our relaunch event at Stewart Airport, and that was going to be the beginning of a road show. We were going to promote FTZ in person through our regional economic development partners. Obviously, we've been unable to do that. So we've gone virtual, of course, with the Council of Industry in this region, which is essentially an association for local manufacturers. We had a webinar with them last month that was very successful, a lot of good feedback, had some interest as a result. Just a little while ago, I got off a conference call with Rockland County, their economic development team, the RBA as well, sharing these benefits, because again, they're a regional benefit. They can help those areas retain businesses, maybe help them expand, perhaps expand into Orange County, but at the same time, we're going to gain some revenue as a result. So we keep promoting it, and we do have other clients, prospective clients in the pipeline, so we're going to keep working that. And beyond that, just a couple of things. Municipal work continues. In my report, you see just the most recent communication with a number of municipalities. I think that work is as vital as ever, helping with COVID relief and supporting their local businesses, but also helping them strategize and really seize future economic development opportunities. So I'm proud of that work we're doing, and that continues. And beyond that, back to the Council of Industry, we have a Zoom meeting with the county executive and representatives from local Orange County manufacturers in conjunction with the Council of Industry. We have that coming up next week. So that'll be important to hear from them, hear what their issues are, and be able to provide our support. And lastly, I'm working with the Department of Public Works with Ermin Silkovich over there, who's the recycling coordinator and has a few other responsibilities. We're working on a program to help deal with help businesses comply with a New York State Department of DEC regulation for food waste. Beginning January 2022, any businesses that have an average of more than 2 tons of food waste or leftover food on average per week have to do something with that food. They have to actually, if there's food that's edible, They have to distribute that to food pantries and the food bank and such. And then food waste, organic waste, some of this material that really needs pre-processing before it goes into a sewer processing plant, something like that. They have to actually do something to process that. At the same time, Orange County DPW has plans to build a facility to do that. So the role I've been playing is connecting with some of our bigger players, Legoland, Amy's Kitchen, who hopefully will be coming online in 2022 as well, to have them be part of kind of a pilot program, really, where we're working with them, providing the technical assistance that they need, but also learning some best practices with and from them that we can share with other catering halls and other businesses that are impacted by this. Obviously, a number of those businesses are upended as a result of COVID, but it is a law that's going to impact a number of these companies, and we want to help really make it as easy as possible for them. So this coordination with DPW is important, and again, something else I'll be reporting on further in future reports. Those are some of the highlights, but I'm here to answer questions about those or anything else you have.
Okay, I would like to note that Legislator Menuda has joined us. With that, I'll open it up to questions from committee members. Mr. O'Donnell, go ahead.
Yeah, Bill, just a typo on your Legoland. 250 rooms in that hotel, right?
Yes. What did I have?
25.
It's more than 25 rooms. Yes, actually. Not a boutique hotel.
Okay.
Thank you. I
That's all.
apologize.
Yeah, no problem. Just wanted to get it on there.
For sure. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions from committee members?
Legislator Lujan has his hand raised.
Yeah, I know. I was looking for committee members first, but seeing none, Legislator Lujan, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First off, I just wanted to thank Bill and their whole team for everything that they've been doing, across the county to help local businesses, particularly through these difficult times and through navigating everything for the Grant Street properties. So we're really excited about that, and I think that we all are. That's why we all unanimously supported this project. So great job there. I did have a question in regards to Camp LaGuardia. In your presentation, you indicated that there were other developers that were interested, and one of the things that I think, I mean, the proposal so far seems really, really great, and besides the obvious lower price tag to it, do you imagine that another project, because of the excitement or interest that you're seeing, that there might be other developers that would be willing to pay more? And if so, do you believe that it might make sense for us to open up a larger RFP, considering everything that's been going on with COVID and the timing that this RFP came out? Do you think that might actually bring a much better proposal?
It's a great question. A little difficult for me to answer because, frankly, going through an RFP process like this on this side of the table is very new for me. I'm learning every week about what we can do, what we can't do, how we do the right thing, how we respect everyone that's bid or expressed interest. I will tell you, I try and be as candid as I can, all the time. I do think my gut tells me, the conversations I've had with some of these prospective developers, those that have toured and such, I do believe that we could have other offers that would be of a higher bid price. I absolutely do. And I think there could be some other projects proposed that some people may think is more exciting than what's been proposed in this. So I do think that's true. It's all subjective, of course, and as is my opinion.
Of course.
But I can't really speak to whether we should reissue or not. But I can tell you the interest has been great. The timing is challenging, obviously. We issued both of these during COVID on purpose, though, because we wanted to move some of these properties. But I do believe that some of the opportunities, some of the interest would probably grow over the next several months, and especially when Legoland opens, for example. And we expect them to open sometime around April. If and when they do and they're successful, and we certainly expect them to be, I mean, that's going to be a game changer, and it's going to change any property in proximity to it, like Camp LaGuardia, could instantly become more valuable or be seen as such. So I do think as time goes on, COVID defrosts a little bit. Exciting opportunities we have like Legoland and such opening up, I do think there would be an opportunity to garner even more interest, perhaps more attractive, if that answers it.
No, absolutely. That absolutely answered my question. Yeah, I mean, that was one of the concerns I think that was voiced in the past about putting these RFPs during this period. I mean, at the same time, it also shows that we want to do something with them. So
Correct.
that's another great part of it. Okay, and so based on this, if legislators, if everyone decided, okay, we want to move forward, with this particular project, do you sense that they are willing to move on their price, or do they seem pretty firm on where they stand right now with the 1.2 million?
The original bidders, it's certainly something I addressed with them, and I'd let them know that it was quite clearly well below what the county has invested in it. And they have indicated to me that they would be willing to budge to a degree. And, they talked about a couple other type of ways they could sweeten the pie, so to speak. So they're well aware of it, and they do seem open to trying to amend their offer in a way that would be more attractive. I don't know how far they would go to, reaching some threshold that would be satisfactory to the legislature, right? I can't necessarily do that, but it does appear that they're willing to change their offer for the better.
And if legislators decide to table, to bring it back to an RFP, how quickly do you think something like that would be the turnaround for us?
To put out another RFP?
Yeah.
Well, it depends upon, frankly, workload of the team that's putting it together. County Attorney's Office did a lot of work. The Real Property Director did a lot of work on it. We certainly contribute to it. So I think it's a matter of months, no matter what. I think you're talking about a couple of months or a few months to get it all, reworked and reissued. I think another possibility, in my understanding, again, I'm constantly learning from this process, but remember with Camp LaGuardia in particular, we advertised it widely. We actually had, thanks to some support from the Orange County IDA, we advertised it in the Wall Street Journal in their commercial real estate section 3 weeks in a row. So it's been out to the development world, so to speak, at least in this corner of the world. So no one could say that we didn't put it out there. And we only got one official response. So I also think we have an opportunity that if we identified, a developer, we could find our way to work a deal with a specific developer if we wanted to. The legality of that, I don't completely understand. Again, that's not my department. But again, the point is that we put it out there to the world. We're not discriminating in any way. We just only got one official response. So I think we have more leeway going forward is the way I understand it. We could take it a couple different directions. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's very helpful. And again, great work with everything that you're doing.
Thanks very much.
Okay, thank you. Other questions or comments for Bill? Okay, seeing none, Bill, thank you very much. And we look forward to next month's report.
Sir, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next up, we have our Tourism Director, Amanda Dana, for quarterly report. So Amanda, it's all yours.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chairman. So I would like to start off by saying we are incredibly excited from the tourism team here that we have good news that within the last few hours we did launch our brand new website. And I was like, wait a second first, don't rush out and check it out right now because we're a little nervous that there may be a couple of glitches, but first go, it looks fantastic. I'm sure we'll have to tweak it and work on it a little bit, but we did launch our website today. And we're very excited about that. It was 6 months of really digging in and refining it and going forward. I don't know if anyone's ever put together a website, but it's challenging. But it is up and going now. We're very excited about that. So which leads me right to, where has our web traffic been and what does that look like? Last month we had, over 114,000 visits to our website. And that is an astronomical number, really, especially in this time, especially at any time. That's a great number, which goes to tell you that people are still searching. People do want to be in Orange County, especially when they feel like they need to be outdoors and in wide open spaces. So that has been our big push, is to expand on that branding and the wide open spaces and really get to our entities, our attractions, getting them out there. And it really has been a very popular month. We did launch our Wide Open Spaces video. Those of you who haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. Over 250,000 views on that over the last couple of months. So it has been getting a lot of traction. And to go back, we have decided as a team to really focus in on our local experiences. We've been aligning ourselves with restaurants and farm experiences and pushing that out in our e-blasts. I'm hoping you have seen some of our e-blasts and seen some of the things we've been doing to really promote local spending and keeping it local to all of our areas, all of our counties in the region, as well as still that Metro New York area. We're still hitting that hard. But I believe all that combined has really had people coming back to our website and really looking to stay in Orange County. So again, we launched our website today. Pretty excited about that. I want to give a big shout out to my team who was really instrumental in doing that. And they did a fantastic job. Just some marketing highlights. We did conclude our Philadelphia, Boston, DC area push at the end of November. And it was very successful. We realized that pushing not only to New York City, but also to DC and Washington and Philly, that's a very viable market, a market that comes and also wants to stay overnight, because if you market to an area that's just a little over 2.5 hours, 3-hour drive, they want to stay. So we have found that a lot of our hotels in the area have come to us saying they have been done very well in this season. Up to 85-90% occupancy on the weekends especially. So that's a great thing to hear. We have pushed our family fun, adventure, craft beverage, and we have pushed off our family fun over the last few months and pushed more into the outdoors marketing, and that you know of, and that's really been proven a great success. We have started collaborations with Legoland New York. With marketing on Facebook, and we've been teaming up with them, and that has brought us an amazing amount of leads to our website. People looking for adventures and things to do in Orange County. I believe we're up to 1,900 leads over the last couple weeks of just collaborating with Legoland. So we have been collaborating with them, and we've been pushing out on Facebook, and we've been getting a lot of traction in Orange County, which is the goal. We've also done a series of videos called New York by New York Welcomes You, and it's called What's Open in New York State. And we've pushed out some of our attractions in that video campaign, and that's become really popular as well. We did that with New York Welcomes You with Josiah Brown. Some of you might remember him. He's a world guru. He's the Sherpa in New York State for tourism, and he's been putting those videos out for us, and it's been working out really well. We continue to have our presence on WTBQ and Hudson Valley Magazine and other press opportunities. We've been pretty busy with that. Speaking of press and public relations, if you look to see the articles that we have had out in October and November from Hudson Valley Magazine, we have a very strong relationship with them, and it's great to see a lot of our attractions being pushed on in the Hudson Valley Magazine online and also in print. Real estate in depth. We after the air show, but before our last meeting, we did have an article in there which we were that tourism was talked about how the air show went. That went really well, as well. And also, our county executive was quoted in that article as well. So some of the things we've done in conferences and education. NYSTIA, which is our state tourism organization, we did a virtual conference with them, and so it was all new being at a virtual conference, but it really it did really well. We learned a lot. We got to talk to a lot of industry experts, and we got to learn some things about advocacy and retraining us how to come out of this COVID pandemic and into what's happening in the first, second, and third quarter of next year, and how that changes the way that we're going to market. Again, in U.S. Travel offers endless education for us, so we always hop on any education we can for them, and it really does give us a good sense of how to relaunch and re-engage going into 2021. And from everything we've heard, we do know that there will be an end to this pandemic, and there will be a different way of marketing, but it's going to be very effective. And certainly toward the third quarter, it's going to be a much different landscape than it is right now in 2021. One thing that came out over the last few weeks was the Oxford Economic Study, which perhaps you remember I talked about this last year. They're always a year behind, it seems, but no, it doesn't seem, it is. And so the 2019 numbers came out just a couple weeks ago. And Orange County did grew quite a bit. But the areas that we were focusing on was our food and beverage grew quite a bit, and our recreation. The numbers are there. We have over $1.47 billion in visitor spending, which is kind of hard to believe, but it's really that high. Makes us the second highest in the Hudson Valley as far as visitor spending. So it is going up. And again, these are 2019 numbers. And the one fact that I wanted to point out with that report, which you can click on when you have your reports and see the report, is that because of the tourism spending in Orange County, we're saving $1,180 per household. And that's a number that was given to us by the study. And that brings us to like one of the top counties in the Hudson Valley, the top county in the Hudson Valley for that number, saving the most for our taxpayers. We did some presentations over the last couple months, Warwick Rotary and the Warwick Chamber of Commerce, and just some other projects that we're working on traffic signs, road signs on I-86, and trying to see what that looks like, how we can start that process with the Department of Transportation. We're looking, we worked on a Small Business Saturday campaign. Again, I mentioned we're working with Legoland as far as the Facebook alignments that we're doing with them, Woodbury Common. We've worked a little with the Galleria Mall to see how we can collaborate with them and get a push for that area as well. And there was actually a sporting tournament on November 28th. 12th Rock is an organization that is building hopefully a new sports facility in the town of Wallkill. And they have been hosting cross-country meets. And it isn't through schools, it's actually through private clubs, but they had over 350 runners on November 28th come to Orange County and stay overnight for a couple of nights. So we got local hotels engaged, restaurants engaged, and they did that in a very safe manner. And yes, it was done. It was that many runners, but it was done very safely. And that was a successful event on November 28th. There was also one more thing that is not on the report that I wanted to share with you, is that there is a new innovative project going on right now that's in planning in the town of Goshen. And that just came to me last week. It's a farm to table project. And thank you very much, Kevin Darian, for bringing that to us and giving us the experience of that. Bill Fioravanti and myself went there to see what the project's about, and it's actually a really neat, innovative farm-to-table experiential farm project, and we're very supportive of it, and we hope to help them get through the planning on this. But more to come on that, but it was a great project, and thank you so much for that. In your report, you'll see just some examples of some of the visuals we've been pushing out, and some of our headers and sliders we've been doing. Getting a lot of traction with them. As you can see, we really are focusing on shop and dine local in our county. And we've been very successful at it. I think a lot of our vendors have been giving us a call saying, thank you for that. And thank you for pushing folks toward us. It's really helpful. And right now it's really incredibly helpful and really important that we do get that message out about our local vendors. So I'm going to switch gears to film. I probably should open it up right now for any questions based on some of the report I've given so far.
Okay, any questions so far for Amanda? Okay, I'm not seeing any at the moment, so why don't you go ahead and tell us about film.
Okay. So on a little bit of a sad note with film, about 2 weeks ago, one of our sound stages had burnt down, and you might have heard of it. Michelson Studio in the city of Middletown had a tragic fire. Thank God no one was hurt, but the entire building was burnt down, and that was one of our certified sound stages for the county. I think we've talked about this before, how important sound stages are. Sound stages meaning production studios for film in the county, and we're down one now. We're already at capacity with our other sound stages, but now having that not with us really puts us at a little bit of a deficit for that. But we're hoping to talk to other developers, talk about the importance of a soundstage, why it's important right now, especially in Orange County when we need them. So that was a loss, and our heart goes out to the owner of that building. It was just, we were just starting to get real traction there, and then that happened. So, but on a brighter note, some of the productions we did land, HBO, The White House Plumbers, The Whale, which is a feature film, and we did film a few weeks back in Blooming Grove at, I'm sorry, Nanini Quarry. I'm trying to say, Nanini Quarry. It's Tonight with John Oliver, that film there in Blooming Grove, and that was a great film, a great experience there. And we're working on some big productions again. One of them I want to bring to your attention is Severance. It's a Ben Stiller series. They wanted to find an Orange County downtown, and we gave them a few. Some of the ones they were looking at were Highland Falls, Warwick, Goshen, Montgomery, Pine Bush. They were all over, and they came back to us and they said that Ben Stiller, literally Ben Stiller, was very fond of the village of Goshen, and he wanted to have his on location in Goshen. So we've been working on somewhat of an education with the village of Goshen to let them know what to expect when film comes in, and how it all operates. And we're trying to now give that education to the village of Goshen. We're going through the Chamber of Commerce for Goshen to try to talk to their people and their small businesses to see how they can be engaged with film. But it's all part of how we should start really, really creating the education and awareness of film, because some areas know how to film. We know that Middletown and Warwick and Newburgh and Montgomery, and they get it, and Port Jervis, they get how to do film and how it goes and how quickly you have to react. But some municipalities really, they just don't know that. But our job is to really educate. So we're looking to start with the Village of Goshen, and really, hopefully we can get them up to speed on some of the latest and greatest techniques, how to attract film, how to keep film, more importantly. That's things we're working on. Another big news is MGM is looking very strongly in Orange County right now. They are looking for a farm, which they've found a couple of them, one in the town of Walk Hill, one in Hamptonburg. And they would like to have a soundstage, a local soundstage. They will convert a warehouse. So now, you know, my tourism and film hat is like coming off. I'm putting on the economic development hat. I'm calling Bill. I'm calling brokers. I'm like, we need a warehouse. We need a warehouse. So we need about 20 to 25,000 square feet. They want to convert it into a soundstage. And you're going to hear this more and more. But right now, we're looking very actively. Time is ticking. We need to find them a warehouse in that area, in the Campbell Hall, Town of Walk Hill area, so they can convert it to a soundstage. So those are the things we're working on. There's a lot of things we're working on. And in your report, you're going to see a spreadsheet, and it just talks about all the film that we're touching. A lot of the scouts are coming here. They're calling constantly. And if all of these lands, it would be, you know, a lot of economic benefit for the county if these all land. But right now we're very busy, and we love to be busy, but it's a very exciting world out there. Steve Newhouse did, County Executive Newhouse did mention about sound stages in Newburgh, New Windsor. He has been active in helping to get another sound stage through planning in New Windsor, and we're really thankful for that. And you know, you're going to hear this a lot more, that, you know, the economic, real big economic benefits is when they come here on location and in a sound stage, and that's where you see the real big dollars come in. So that's it so far. Does anybody have any questions?
Okay, I'll open it up to questions for Amanda. So far, I'm not seeing any. Oh, I'm sorry, Legislator Ruhan, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Not so much a question, just a comment. I just wanted to thank Amanda, Dana, and Bill on working on that project that she had mentioned in her presentation. This is exactly, you know, the kind of, you know, great partnership that we would like to see, that helps our local businesses, tries to help them navigate through the challenging and all the red tape that unfortunately, happens. So I just wanted to thank you for that. And I'm really excited to see all the exciting projects that are coming down the pipes. Despite everything that's going on with COVID, people seem to be very clearly interested in coming to Orange County. And so that's very exciting. So thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And Bill, of course.
I see Legislator Menuda has his hand up. Go ahead, Joe.
Thank you. I was just wondering, those locations in New Windsor, are those confidential at this time?
No, they've been in front of the planning board. So the one location is the bowling alley that's on Route 9W that is being converted to a sound stage. That is the one that our county executive has helped out a little bit to try to push that along as best they can. I believe they've come a long way. I think they're getting through planning right now to get that going. But that's not a secret. The other one, which is not a secret as well, is they're converting part of Motorcyclepedia into a soundstage. So.
Okay, there's just for your knowledge, there is also the former Distinctive Theater that is there, currently not being used, but there's a 11,000 square foot building there that used to be the old Squire Theater, which is also available, possibly. So 2 more locations right in New Windsor.
And it's available?
Yes. To my last recollection, it was. So thank you.
Okay. Other questions or comments? All right. Well, seeing none, Amanda, I want to thank you again for your report, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Okay, that concludes our agenda. So I would look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Hotel.
Okay, Totel, is there a second?
Cheney.
Cheney. All
Cheney.
right. All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Chairman.
Kelly, you good with sponsors?
I am. Yep, we're all set.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Take care, everyone. Have a good night.
You too.